Thiruchitrambalam, Hara Hara Nama Parvati Padaye, Hara Hara Mahadeva, Sitsavesa, Sivasidambaram, தென்னாடுடைய சிவனே போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி திருச்சிற்றம்பலம் எடுக்கும் மாக்கதை இந்தமிழ் செய்யுளாய் நடக்கும் மேன்மை நமக்கருள் செய்திட தடக்கை ஐந்துடை தாழ்செவி நீள்முடி கடக்களிற்றை கருத்துள் இருத்துவாம் உலகெல்லாம் உணர்ந்து போதற்கரியவன் நிலவுலாவிய நிர்மலி வேணியன் அலகில் சோதியன் அம்பலத்து ஆடுவான் மலர் சிலம்படி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவாம் சைவத்தின் மேற்சமயம் வேறிலை அதில் சார் சிவமாம் தெய்வத்தின் மேற் தெய்வம் இல்லனும் நான்மறைச் செம்பொருள் வாய்மை வைத்த திருத்தேவாரமும் திருவாசகமும் உய்வை தரச் செய்த நால்வர் பொற்றாள் எம்முயிர் துணையே. தில்லை வாழந்தனரை முதலாக சீர்படைத்த தொல்லையதாம் திருத்தொண்ட தொகைடியார் பதம் போற்றி உலையவர் புராண கதை உலகறிய விரித்து உரைத்த செல்வமலி குன்றத்தூர் செக்கிழாரடி போற்றி. ஆதாரமாகிய மாணிக்க வாசகர் பாதார விந்தம் பணிவோம் பண்டு செய்த தீதான பாவங்கள் எல்லாம் தீர்ந்து ஞானோதயம் வந்து கூடிடுமே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Dear devotees, welcome back to Periyapuranam Discourse series. With the blessings of the Almighty Lord Shiva, we are here to think through the part 6 of Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar wonderful history. Let me bow my head to the lotus feet of Thiruchitrambalam and also to the 57th Pontiff of Kunambatti Kalyanapuriyadina, Shri Gomathinayagam, Shri Rajasarvamanikvasaga Swamigal as well. By the grace of the Almighty Lord Shiva, let's go ahead and continue the part 6 of Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar history. So right now we are doing the pilgrimage with Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal, the 5th pilgrimage. So Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal was blessed with the white pearl roof in Paticharam. Last week we covered that during the last session. So now Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal headed to various temples in Kumbakonam. He had a wonderful darshan of Shiva temples in Kumbakonam. Then he also covered the temples from Kumbakonam on the path of Kumbakonam to Thiruvadurai, Tiruvadaimarudur, and so on. Now Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal has come to Thiruvadurai, a very famous temple, a very, very auspicious temple. One moment, just taking some notes here. Right, so Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal came to Thiruvadurai. The Lord name was, the Lord here in Thiruvadurai is called Masalamanishwarar, and Opila, goddess name is Opilamalayamai. When Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal had a darshan of Masalamanishwarar, he was literally in tears, full of shedding copious tears, and enjoying the bliss under the lotus feet of Lord Masalamanishwarar, and he sang many padigams at that time. When Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal was in Thiruvadurai, his father, the great Sobhadradeyar, heard about it, and then it's just 1 hour distance from Srigali to Thiruvadurai. His father came to see his wonderful son Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal, but he had a purpose. For his visit to Thiruvadurai, Sobhadradeyar. So he met his son. He was very happy to see Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal, and then Sobhadradeyar asked Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal, it is the right time where they should be performing the Havans, Vedic and Agamic Havans. Havans in the sense, Havans means Homa, Vedic and Agamic fire ritual that we usually do in temple and also at home. So he said it is the time we have to do Havan for the welfare of the world and all living beings, but he did not have all the things he needed to perform Havan. So he asked Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal, could you help? And then Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal said, I don't have anything else. Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal He did not carry a backup suitcase or suitcase of golds or anything for the next day, or even to um, support the devotees. He was do- he was doing a pilgrimage, and he relies on the Lord for the day-to-day food for him and the rest of the Thirukutam as well. So he had nothing. So even just a few words before I go to the history, just some background about the Hara. Havan, it's called Homa in Sanskrit. It's a Sanskrit word Homa, Velvi in Tamil. So it's actually a fire ceremony performed at special occasions, temple and home as well. When we have a new house ceremony, then marriage. There are 16 type of rituals we have in every human being's life. In temple, we always have Brahmotsava and various other specific festivals, and during that festivals, Havan will be performed as per Vedic and organic rules and regulations to seek blessings from the Lord and goddess and higher powers. So it's an act where the priest offer materialistic objects symbolized by natural materials such as milk, ghee, grains, curd, seed, cloths to the fire. So fire literally is seen as as the agent that removes all the traces of the past and allows us to step forth on our spiritual journey with fresh minds and a clean past. So these are not the Vedic havans are not just ritual; they are part of the science as well. So Vedas are part of the science which existed um, for several thousand years, or several yugas, I would even say. So it's our Vedic. In fact, the Vedic mantras and the havans, um, it has a connection to the world and every living being um, that exist in the cosmic universe. As in science, the results of heaven are perfect and precise if performed correctly. That's very important in double quotes, correctly, properly. The energy channelized during the Vedic heaven is experienced by every individual depending on their awareness, their wisdom, and their participation during the ritual. So it's usually performed. The main purpose of doing havans for the welfare of the world and all living beings to have a better future and a stable world. It is also a spiritual treatment for many personal and personal issues one may have. Also, the general problems the world would face. Corona is an example. It disrupted the whole world, and we could even relate that to that as we don't do a proper homas in temple at the right time. The world will suffer from such natural calamities and diseases. So, just to want to give you some background about that. And now, Thirugnanasambanda Swami father asked Thirugnanasambanda Swami for he doesn't have the required things to do perform homas. Then Thirugnanasambanda Swami said, the endless thing in this world, or the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, and I don't have anything. I don't have anything in my hand. I don't know anything about the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. So I'm gonna ask him to give you what you need. I can't give you anything. Then Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal composed a wonderful Devara hymn. இடரினும் தளரினும் எனதுருநோய் தொடரினும் உணகள் தொழுதழுவே கடந்தனில் அமுதுடு கலந்த நெஞ்சு மிடரிலடக்கிய வேதியனே இதுவோ எமை ஆடுமாறு ஈவுதுன்றனக்கு இல்லையேல் அதுவோ உனது இன்னருள் ஆவுடு துறையரணே. The first song of the Padiyam. He completed the Tirkadaikapu, the last song of the Padiyam. The moment he completed that, Lord Shiva sent a Shivabhuta from Kailash to Trivandrum, just like what he did in Patichara. Shivabhuta made a white pearl roof for Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal at the order of Lord Shiva, and again the Shivabhuta came at the order of Lord Shiva. And this time it kept Ulavakli. It's a kind of a box. Ulavakli means a kind of a box that has 1,000 gold coins in it. And when you take the coins out of the box, again it will become 1,000 gold coin inside the box. So it's a box with endless gold coin. Ulavakili. It kept it on the Balipita right in front of the temple. And then the Shiva Buddha told Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal, he paid respect to Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal and said, this Ulavakili was gifted by Lord Shiva to you. Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal was so pleased to hear that, and then he fell down on the ground, and then he took that Ulavakili gifted by Lord Shiva and kept it on over his head, and then paid his respect to the Ulavakili, and then he gave it to his father because his father asked him for money and other things to do Vedic Havan. He gave it to his father and also advised his father how he should be doing the Havans. So it's not an advice to his father himself. It is a general guideline to the whole Shaiva community and also the other sub-religions that follow Vedic principles. He said, ஆதிமாமரை விதியினால் ஆறுசூழ் வேணிநாதரை முன்னாகவே புரியும் நல்வேள்வி தீது நீங்க நீர் செய்யவும் திருக்கழுமலத்து வேதவேதியர் அனைவரும் செய்யவும் மிகுமால். Vedas, when we say Adi Mamari, it refers to the Vedas and Shivagamas said by the Almighty Lord Shiva. Within all rules, dear Father, please follow the rules and regulations of Vedas and Agamas and do the heaven by those regulations. That's the order and direction from Thirugnanasambanda Swami to the whole world, how we should be doing Havan as per the Vedic and Agamic regulations. Not by whatever we want. You could see, unfortunately, it's sad to see in the current world, you could see in the Shaivits wearing the puti and the Draksha, could see doing homas, havans on their own way, in a different new way. So this is not a technology or political where we can invent, innovate, and do new things. No. The God, Lord Shiva, has already defined the rules and regulations for doing homas, havans in Vedas and Agama. A true Shaivite will stick to that. If we violate that rules, then we're going against the rules of Lord Shiva. And he also said, who should be doing that homa? Thirukalvalathu Vedavediyar Anevarum Seyum, only that Vedic priest should be doing that homa. So he has given three directions actually. Do the heavens as per the rules and regulations of Vedas and Agamas, number one. Number two, all the Vedic priests should be doing the homas. Number three, the homas should be having Lord Shiva as the lead god for that homa. The lead god of the homa should be Lord Shiva, no one else. So these are three guidelines Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal has given to his father, eventually to the whole world. So right now, devotees, you could see people are doing Havan in their own way, not following Vedic principles, not following Agamic principles, not following Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal guideline. And if you come across such people who don't follow the direction of Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal, please do stay away from them. That's all you can do. Because it's all democratic country, anybody can do what they want, but a true Shaivit will stay away from them. Yes. If we follow the directions from Thirugnanasambanda Swami, we must stick to that. And then Subhadra was so pleased to uh, see that Ulava Kili, and then he went back to Tirutonipuram. And Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal stayed in throughout the day for a few more days, composed a few more padigams as well, having a great time enjoying worshipping the Lord of Thiruvadurai, Sri Maslaman Ishwar. Then from Thiruvadurai, Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal headed to Dharmapuram, a famous temple. It's also the birthplace of Trinilaganda Yalpana Nayanar's mother. Trinilaganda Yalpana, who's always with Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal Tirkutam. His mother was born in Dharmapuram. So when they went to Dharmapuram, the relatives of Tirunelkanda Yalpana came and gave Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal and Yalpana a warm welcome. And then Tirunelkanda Yalpana Nayanar was explaining to his relatives the service that he's doing along with Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal. He explained Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal would sing all the great padigams. He would just play the tune of the padigam in his musical instrument, which is called yar. And then, but the relatives, they're trivial people. They're not matured. So when one of the relatives said, as you play the musics, and that's why the tune of the padigams are getting spread across the world. One person said, the moment he heard that, Trinilakanta Yapana started shivering, because that was a big sin. He sees Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal as his guru, and he knew nothing is beyond the tune of Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal. So he immediately fell down at the feet of Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal, and then he requested them. Not only these people, the whole world should be made aware that the tune of Tirupadigam, Devara hymns, cannot be limited to the musical instruments like this, like I have, the yard. He requested that. Then Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal kindly accepted that request. And then Swamigal composed a wonderful Tirupadigam called Madar Madapidiyum Vada Annam in Yal Muri Pan. He sang that in Yal Muri Pan, and the tune that broke, the tune that cannot be limited within the musical instrument, any musical instrument. Not only Yal, any musical instrument. So it's beyond the capability of the musical instruments. So he composed that wonderful song in Yalmuri Pan, and then he completed it. Trinilakanda Yalpana Nayanar tried to play the music of that tune, but he could not do it using his yard. And then he started shivering again. He stopped playing it because he could not align with the tune. Then he became very sad, and then he fell down at the feet of Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal and requested, I took a vow that I would play the music of your tunes, Tirupadiga tunes. But I failed to do that today. And I failed to do my service to you and Lord Shiva. It's because of this faulty instrument I have. So I don't need this anymore. Then he was about to break that yard, musical instrument. Then Thirugnanasambanda Swami stopped him. Wait, wait, wait. Please stop. Give that instrument to me. Then Thirugnanasambanda Swami received that instrument from Yalpara Nayanar. Then Thirugnanasambanda Swami advised him, why did you try to break this yal? Yal means lair, lair. Um, then Swami explained the fame and greatness of Lord Shiva cannot be limited in any of the worldly instrument like this. It just cannot be limited to anything. So it's by nature the fame of Lord Shiva, the music that praises the fame of Lord Shiva just cannot be controlled within the capability of any musical instrument. What we can do is Aslan. Try your level best to support, go along, and continue to do what you can within the capability of this musical instrument. Then everyone understood. They made a mistake. Then they realized the power of Tirupadiga Devarahim's tune. Then Thirugnanasambanda also said, we cannot even our heart, we can't even limit that fame of Lord Shiva within our heart. How can we do that within a musical instrument? Just not possible. So keep this with you. Continue to do the service that you have been doing before, but understand that this is a musical instrument made in this Maya world, and it has some limitation when it comes to pricing Lord Shiva. And let's understand that limitation, but we still should continue to do the service that you've been doing. Then Yalpana Nayanar, very pleased the clarification he found out at the feet of Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal. Then they continued their pilgrimage, including the relatives of Yalpana Nayanar. All of them paid their respect to Thirugnanasambanda Swami. And now Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal went to Tirunalluru, wonderful temple, Tirunalluru. He had a great darshan in Tirunalluru. Then he headed to Tiruchitrambalam. Tiruchitrambalam is a town name, and there's a wonderful temple in Chattamangay. It's called Ayavanthi, where another Aruthimundu Nayanmar, one of the Nayanmars of 63 saints, Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar lived. We just covered Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar story a few days ago. Probably you would remember. Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar gave Thirugnanasambanda Swami a very warm welcome, and both of them went to Ayavanthi temple together, had a great darshan. Thirugnanasambanda Swami, as always, composed wonderful Devara hymns, and then along with his Tirukutam, Thirugnanasambanda Swami stayed in Tiruchitrambalam for some time, and then he went to Tiruchengattangudi. When we say Tiruchengattangudi, we should immediately recall Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar. Immediately got Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar. So he had a great darshan of Tiruchengattangudi, which is also known as which is also known as Ganapathicharam. Ganapathicharam. Had a great darshan of Ganapathicharam, and then Thirugnanasambanda Swami wanted to go to Thirumarugal, which is close to Ganapathicharam. Then Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar gave a very grand feast for Thirugnanasambanda Swami devotees. There are thousands of devotees always with Thirugnanasambanda Swami. Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar organized a grand feast for Thirugnanasambanda Swami, because the main service of Thirugnanasambanda Nayanar is to feed Lord Shiva devotees. When Thirugnanasambanda Swami came with thousands of devotees, he was so pleased, and he was organizing a very grand feast for Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal and with all his devotees. After completing his darshan in Ganapaticharam, Tiruchenkattagudi, Thirugnanasambanda Swamigal started heading towards Thirumarugal temple. Thirumarugal, a miracle happened. We will talk about that in the next session. Thiruchitrambalam. என்றும் இன்பம் பெருகும் இயல்பினால் ஒன்று காதலித்து உள்ளம் ஓங்கிட மன்றுளார் அடியார் அவர் வான்புகழ் நின்றது எங்கும் நிலவி உலகலாம். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். பிரான் திருஞானசம்பந்த சுவாமிகள் திருவடிகள் போற்றி போற்றி. ஹரஹர நம பார்வதிபதையே. ஹரஹர மகாதேவா. சிற்சபேசா சிவசிதம்பரம். தென்னாருடைய சிவனே போற்றி. எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.